guys, we have a suitcase to review for you today. This is from Bluesmart and it is smart luggage. So cool!
The company contacted us and gave us this model to review. We did take it on a trip with us and wanted to see how it worked in action, and I gotta say, it's pretty cool. Okay.
This is $600. It is very expensive, but it does a lot of cool stuff. Also, I have a code for you to get $40 off. Yeah. Every little bit helps. Okay, so basically let's just go through all of the features.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so first of all, you connect it with your smartphone. They have a nice little app. So it has a GPS thing in it so that you can find your luggage. If you lose it, you can locate it.
Honestly, that's one of its big advantages, is that you won't lose it if you leave it behind somewhere. This is essentially supposed to be a carry-on, so I think in theory this should be mainly with you at most times.
Right.
But this is great for left it in the, like I was thinking about where I would use this, and I think I would use it less at, oh no, the airport lost it, because I have this with me and it's in the overhead bin. I think it's more of, I left it in the trunk of that taxi. That's one of the places where you're just kind of hosed if you lose it, or if you think you left it at your hotel, or you know,
somebody steals it.
If you're at a convention, or if someone just steals it. And that's one of the other things, the safety features, is that it goes more than, how many feet away from you?
It's like 5 feet or something, very close.
Yeah, so it'll automatically lock. So if you've left this unlocked, you can't press the button and unlock it, and it's got a pretty beefy lock on it. You have this nice little flap which has a little magnetic enclosure, which is also really cool.
Yes.
And then you can, put your iPad, etc. in here. So things are nice and easily accessible to you, but if you want, you can just click it, lock it, and if someone rolls away with it, they won't be able to at least very easily get into your stuff, which is
right.
Cool.
Yeah, it has, and you can change the settings so that it will automatically lock, and you also get a notification on your phone. I get notifications on my watch as well, saying, hey, your bag is far away from you, and you can set it to auto lock when it does that. You can also unlock it from your phone, which I think is pretty cool. And it comes with a set of the two little dinky keys.
Right, and you can have it auto unlock when it's close enough to you.
Right.
So that you don't have to worry about it. So that is pretty cool.
It has 360 wheels, by the way. You can see it
that's
spinning,
pretty cool.
which is so nice. You don't have to constantly, adjust it when you're dragging it around with you. Right. I really love the wheels on this.
I don't know how useful this is going to be, honestly. It does have a scale in the handle, so you can open the app, hold it, and it'll tell you how much it weighs. Now,
that's useful for when you're checking your luggage, because there is definitely a weight limit on your luggage, and I know I have stood there at the airport taking things out of my suitcase because it was way overweight. So you can weigh it beforehand, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, at home you probably could weigh it before you left, but if you're at a hotel jamming in a bunch of stuff that you bought on some trip, and you've decided to bring a bunch of lead home for the kids, you may
or two.
Right, exactly. You may worry about that, and so that's a great way to weigh it without having to do
anything. And to weigh it, you actually do it on the app.
Yeah, don't place it on top of your phone. They do have something in there for you that'll tell you how much it weighs.
Yeah, and it kind of leads you through the steps on how to weigh it. I think the suitcase empty weighs like, 7 pounds or something?
Mm-hmm. The one that we use the most is right back behind here. It has the ability to charge any of your devices, so it just has a little internal battery, and it has the ability just to plug in with any your USB cable, and so you can be sitting at the airport or whatever and just plug straight into here, and you don't have to take your own little device with you or anything like that. It's just built in. Now, it is the same battery that I believe that runs all of its little internal systems. Let's crank this thing open.
Yeah, it has all kinds of pockets and things. It has an outside zipper.
So there's the insecure pocket on the outside, just for things that you want to put in there right now.
Right, handy.
It does have, if you pop this open, there's a ton of room in here. There's a small pocket, and evidently my kids have decided to throw things in there. So it does have some great pockets on the inside. This thing has nothing but pockets on it. So you've got a pocket there, you've got a big pocket, you can put a full-size iPad with a cover on it. You've got another smaller pocket in here. And then another one behind here, which I think you could probably put a small laptop in. So yeah, it's pretty robust, the amount of things you can get to without actually opening this thing up, which is wonderful because most people just want to pull out their iPad or their laptop, use it for a while, shove it back in, and then click and lock the thing back up. Inside, let's open this sucker up. Why you actually buy luggage in the first place is what can you actually store in it. Now, they do have this nice little separate piece here that comes out on the inside, so you can store your toiletries, etc. Plenty of room on the inside. So yeah, it does have a pocket on the bottom where they have your little bag of international connectors. So the international connectors are already included in it, which honestly, for the price, these things should be included in it. And then everything else is pretty much standard. There's standard amount of room. They actually have a small little thing in the front. It's not a lot of room, obviously, on this side because of the big pockets on the other side. But this is fairly cavernous space. I mean, I think this is pretty much all you would need for a carry-on in terms of space. And like I said, there's a ton of pockets to separate things into their little compartments. So I think this is pretty well thought out, especially with a small compartment down here to hold all of your extra gear. The only negative note I had about this is that just from having it, just from a one trip, we did actually end up with some scratches on here, and we ended up with some scratches on the side. So I think that was about the only negative thing that I saw about that, is that I didn't just like, it just seemed to scratch a little easily. I think that it is amazing for what it is. I haven't really seen other luggage. I know that there's other things like, there are other products on the market that you can get that will replicate some of these things. I mean, you could, you know, replicate the scale by grabbing a little, you know, heavy-duty fish scale or something, or you could replicate the GPS with some other devices that are out there on the market. This is really the only one that I've seen out there that kind of brings it all together in one, with the app, with the simplicity of just having everything built in with the battery. This is a lot of great tools all kind of built into one box. I think if you fly occasionally, this will be a bit expensive, but if you're a frequent flyer, if you are used to being in the TSA pre-line or in the clear line, this is absolutely, I think, the best luggage to have with you. This is pretty cool just to kind of put everything together. The craftsmanship is amazing. It looks really good.
It does. It's very
when it's on, it's got the cool little blue light on the front of it. So yeah,
you can actually turn that off if you don't want the blue light up.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
How are people supposed to know how cool this thing is without the blue light on the front of it?
Maybe it drains the battery or something if you're trying to save the
it's
battery.
tiny now.
I have no idea.
Doesn't
but
matter.
you can turn it off. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, that's just terrible. This was the only color for this model, right?
Yes.
I think they had another model that was right under this that was less money.
Yeah, that's their first one.
Oh, okay. Oh, so the
The
original
blue?
model, right? Yeah.
The one.
Yeah, and so that looked about the same, but this is really, you know, just the color and the materials and everything, I think really kind of make this luggage.
Yeah, this is definitely the fancy version. It's a nice little thing. that
Yeah, I like
locks
it.
Up.
Yeah, I like when it locks down, it covers over the ports.
Yeah, because the ports are back here, so when this is all the way down, it covers them. You can't actually access them with this down.
And then it just pops up just a tiny bit so that you can get to those without having this thing all the way up, which is kind of
right.
cool. And yeah, it didn't take too, I think we just left it charging overnight and it was able to fill up an iPad and an iPhone, so.
Yeah, it's supposed to be able to
battery.
charge your smartphone 6 times
Yeah.
with the battery. Of course, you know, if you are going on a long trip or something, you might want to conserve some of your battery because if it does get lost or something, like the location finding will use up your battery. So they say to only use that, you know, if you absolutely have to.
Now, what else was there on the app? I think you could do the settings on the app.
Okay, so you've got your dashboard, which tells you the date and the temperature, your location, that kind of stuff. It has the location button so that if you do need to find it, you can weigh it, the lock screen, and then if you click over to trips, you can add trips, your flight schedule, and any sort of information like that. You can store that in here. You can also move them to the finished thing, so you can look back at your flights, that kind of thing. Oh, and the support. There is a support button on here, and I actually used that because I couldn't get it to stop sending me notifications for something. So I contacted support. They got back to me right away and told me how to deal with it. So their support is really great. And you can also turn your suitcase off from your phone, which is pretty cool. The power, so that, you know, if you have checked it or something, you know, you can turn it off during the flight if you don't need
Right,
it.
if you're worried about the battery draining halfway through the flight and you're not worried about it, you can just shut it off, right?
Yeah.
Well, which is nice because you don't have to stand up and get it out of the overhead compartment to go do that. You can just shut it off from your phone, which is really cool.
The one thing about turning it off, though, is that you can't turn it back on with your phone. You have to actually physically press the on button on the suitcase.
Right, and we should say that the lock is TSA compliant. It's a TSA, whatever it's called, TSA A007 lock, so you won't have any problems with that either, of course. Honestly, for luggage of this caliber, that should go without saying.
Okay, so I think that's basically it. I think we've covered everything. Otherwise, you can just check out their website, which I will leave in the description box down below. I have that $40 off coupon code for you, or a link or whatever it is, so I will leave that in the description box as well. Alright, well thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video. Bye!